not doing as many videos here because you can change the demographic of a town. That's what happened to Lagos. It used to be this small little quaint place. Everybody advertised it. A bunch of hotels came. They built like crazy. And now people are leaving there. And we've actually inherited some lovely people. Hello, Betsy and Clive, who lived very happily in Lagos for a while until it became so touristy that even the locals were moving out. And then the businesses aren't run by the locals. And you lose that kind of cozy vibe. And that's honestly, more the West Algarve.
What can you do about that? This is, people have said the same thing to me a long time ago. An American woman who I met in Caldas said, how about we pay you not to talk about Portugal?
Well, it also depends on the town and how big it is. So like Porto and Lisbon can handle a ton of every different country, population, ages, you name it, huge, wide demographic versus a town this little. We could theoretically change it where 100 in Lisbon is a drop in the bucket or 100 in Porto is a drop in the bucket. 100 here, it's quite a bit.
Don't get me wrong. I think it's a shame. It's kind of sad when that happens, isn't it? But it's just, I don't know how we stop it happening. If those 100 people go to a place and say, this is so lovely, I want to live here, there's not really much you can do about that, is there? This is how humans work. This is the story of human progress and development, isn't it? Is people like nice places, they gravitate towards them, and the very fact that they have moved there, they are changing the place. We can't help that, can we?
I'm doing it too. And then I obviously, as an influencer, right, we're talking about how great our town is, and it's helped the economy. More businesses are opening up. But in fact, one of our favorite places, Cafe Latte, which is like a British style pub, has added more on their menu, a section just for us, because we tend to frequent there a lot because they're open during that lunch break, that 3 to 6, where people go home if they're the chefs, and restaurants are actually open so we can go eat all day long, and they're not closed like on Mondays and Tuesdays where you're always kind of trying to figure out who's open and who's not. And we eat out a lot because the cost for us in our retirement, which we need to talk about long-term care also, right?
That'll be great in the kind of second half. Let's have a little bit of a break. We'll pop up to the north with a nice video we've got. We'll have a look at your beach video, but maybe towards the end of the show, we'll look at this big issue of long-term care as well. Absolutely. So well remembered. Sorry, I interrupted you there.
No, but I just in talking about the different places to live, I've had people, especially during COVID, saying, oh, we love your town, we just want to move there. And they've come sight unseen, or they haven't really explored the other towns. So I think in saying how much I love my town and doing so many videos about it, that it's important that I showcase all the other towns as well, because Tavira is a lovely town and it has a lot more activity. So somebody who comes to a town like this, yes, we have activities, but the population of 10,000, as it sprawls outward, is not that many versus other towns. So if you want big festivals, activities, twice to 10 times as many more restaurants, larger meetups, that's going to be Tavira. And then also quieter towns would be Altura and Praia Verde and why am I drawing a blank? But the little towns between here and Tavira. I don't always recommend Cabanas. A lot of people love it, but it completely shuts down in the winter. But maybe if enough expats did move there, it wouldn't just be a summer holiday place. So that's where I think you can change it. If there's not enough life like here, it's mostly locals that live here, right? We do have immigrants from all over the world here, but nothing where you walk in and you feel that it's not authentic anymore. Whereas Monte Gordo is got so many great places, and we're there all the time. That's about 2 miles up the beach. And that's where they have the huge beach boardwalk with all these great cafes and restaurants on the beach. And that's the video that you'll see. And I think it's, just in general, that place, I think we can change it also. So it's not just a vacation destination, but people can actually live there and enjoy it and enjoy those activities. So you can get a mix. For people who really want authentic, go authentic. If you're looking for lots of activities, you can still have authenticities in the smaller, older town. And then on the outsides have a lot of diversity of options of things to do.
And things will
So I
change,
think
won't
more
they?
research.
Yeah,
Yeah,
things
they
will
will.
change. You know,
They will.
I think this about San Martino de Porto at the moment. Every time I drive and I'm able to park on the quayside, walk into the sea, have a swim, and then get back in my car, make the seat all wet, because I can drive home in 2 minutes
Yeah.
and get home and change. I think to myself, I'm enjoying this while it lasts. It can't last. It can't stay this way forever because other people like me will come to do that. And there'll be 100, like you say, there'll be 100 of us, and you won't be able to park on the quay anymore. You know, you can't anyway in July, obviously, and you know, June, July, August, it's getting busy, and you can't do that.
Oh yeah,
But
right.
in the shoulder, as you put it, you can do that, and it's magical and it's wonderful. And we
Yeah.
just can't, you know, I think we do best instead of worrying about it's going to change and we're changing it and don't tell anyone else about it, is enjoy it while it lasts, because that is the truth, and that's the reality, isn't it, of life, is that we find these little pockets of specialness, of magic, and you enjoy them while they last, because it will change, because other people, why shouldn't other people enjoy that as well, you know? And that's just part of this progress, isn't it?
Yeah, and that was my point last year when it was first brought up to me. You know, we're at the beach and we've taken over most of the beach chairs because our beach is really private. I mean, you've got to
Yeah.
bike in to get to it or go on a dusty road, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, they're like, wow, look at, there's like probably 20 of us in the beach chairs and there's maybe all of, I don't know, 50, and we're
Yes.
all like drinking and partying and having fun. And they're like, "Are you going to bring more? Don't bring more." I'm like pointing in the ocean. They're like, "We
Welcome.
like it
That's
just like
enough.
this."
Yes.
But yeah, there's that balance. In on the positive side, like Nancy and Denise, who moved from Cascais, which Cascais is beautiful, but you know, they get that afternoon wind. And I'm talking a lot about areas because I'm getting asked this a
Afternoon
lot
wind,
now,
is
right?
that after lunch? Is that a weather thing or a
Yeah.
lunch-based thing?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Afternoon wind.
almost like trade winds in Hawaii and stuff. The wind comes in, so it's more difficult to be on the beach because you get a little sand blown. It's hard to be on the golf courses. So this couple
Oh,
was there for golfing, and then it got very, very touristy. In
right.
fact, when I was with Coldwell Banker Global Luxury, which kind of started me getting into this whole looking into the real estate and the differences in America, where I used to train real estate agents and going, wow, this is scary. No way am I going to try to be, you know, a real estate person during COVID. I'm going to go ahead and try to see if we can't change the system and fix it a little bit and help people not get scammed, which we also need to talk about permits later too.
Okay.
We've been running into a lot of permit issues where
Oh,
people are buying homes that didn't get proper permits. So, but looking at where to live, people have more time now versus a few years ago when people were still afraid to travel. They can come and really look and find the place. I always say that sings to your heart. You know, you're in it
yes.
and you just feel like, this is it. And look at many places because the Algarve is big. I mean, if somebody just flies in and heads straight to Albufeira, they might be shocked by the parties and go, wow, where's all these fluffy sand beaches? Stunning,
Yeah.
gorgeous hikes and Carvoru, which I would have lived in Carvoru had I not found Villarreal de Santo Antonio.
Yes.
So it's there's so much to explore and investigate. And now that we have the time and the flexibility, it's a good idea to do that.
Absolutely. Take your time and enjoy it, because that, you know, that can be done two ways, can't it? The scouting and the exploration can become quite stressful if you don't do it right. But you could also see it as an extended holiday, can you? I mean, it's a lovely thing to be able to enjoy if you can, rather than making it too much of a pressured activity.
Well, and that's why I always recommend, as I mentioned in the last show, depending on your country or your state in America, do a rent back provision. Go ahead and if you know you're moving here, like you've already decided this is it, you sell your house in America, put the money in the bank. Then it also helps with capital gains hits if you're already a resident here, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, talk to a real estate agent who is very experienced, and you can rent back your own home and come make trips out here. And we have to preface this, if you're not from the EU, right? You only have 90 out of 180 days that you can be here in the Schengen area, unless you make a run for the border to, let's say, Ireland or Gibraltar, you know, or Great Britain now that you Brexited.
Excellent. Yep.
So, you know, get out of the Schengen zone, and that's a rolling 90 out of 180 days, correct? So if at the beginning of your 180 days, you had 2 weeks, and then you came in and out. That's kind of rolling. Those 2 weeks drop off, and then you've got 2 weeks at the end of your trip, or maybe you had a cruise or something and got out of Dodge.
Yeah.
So remembering those things that you can come over, and you can buy as a non-resident. So you can, as an American, buy property here as a vacation property. So then you can just move once. You're not selling your house in America, moving into a rental, packing everything up, then moving here, have a rental here, and then moving again. Moving 4 times. Moving once is stressful. Moving 4 times, no thank you.
No, it's great advice. It's such a good advice, and I think I'll make a little clip of that, because that is a great hack and a real help to people. So thank you for sharing that again, and we'll make that available to people because it's such a good idea. Right, let's go back to a few more comments. We've got the beach scene in Montegordo. We've got the Doug's Algarvian weather concerns to come, and a little journey up to the north before we turn our attention to longer term care, because that's also a very important part of the planning process. Where did we get to? Nubia Net, a little boat tour of the islands off Faro. Very nice. Yeah, that is lovely. These are islands you can only get to by boat, I think, as well.
And I preface that with our friends just took a boat ride off of Tavira or Oliao. I can't remember which one, but they ended up on this little tiny scary boat. And she sent me pictures, and she's like, the man made us get off, and they're like older. She has back issues. He's like much older, made him like climb on these rocks and look around, versus there's trips in Faro right in front of the Eva Hotel and the Hotel Faro. You just go to the marina. That are big cozy pontoons, and they take you to the islands and around the preserves, and it's much more cozy. She sent me her pictures climbing the rocks. And then I sent her mine on this cozy boat. She's like, okay, that for our age.
Boats differ. It's like the Jaws. Sometimes you need a bigger boat. Plus, there's an amazing artist crafters consortium store at the top of Montchique Mountain in Foya. Thank you for that, Erica. This is lovely. Montchique.
Can we go back to those? That is, if you're looking for an artist community, there are a lot of hidden little arts artists that make. I have to show you. I don't know what you would call this.
Show and tell. That way, I'm seeing a lovely view of VRSA now. Quite deserted at the moment.
Look how cute this is. Okay.
Oh,
shoot!
It's disappearing off. Oh no, we got it now. Yeah, it was disappearing off.
It's like a 3D. Like it's
yes.
Got the molded clay, and they have a ton of these craft places. And this one, what was his name? Tello. They're all hand done. He's making them in his shop. And they're beautiful.
Fantastic. And that's up in the hills. Is that up in the hills there? Up beyond.
Walk around. Yeah. They're hidden. Go into the information booth, which is at the top of the hill by parking, and find out where all these little places are. There's the guy that makes the big fish sculptures that they put inside of fountains around Sagres. Oh, wow. And he's got a huge garden. You walk through the garden of like fish, spiders, seahorses. Amazing. You could walk through and go, yeah, this is a boring town. And you can also walk to the top. I've got to get my Montchique video edited. Okay, I'm going to get to some editing.
We're the same. We've got so much footage, haven't we? You need to get to work on. But we're too busy going out taking footage of new places to be doing the old videos.
Exactly. Please, anyone want to edit? Like, who loves to just stay at home and edit?
You need that person, right? Okay. Colin offered to do my editing yesterday, so he might be up for doing yours as well.
Yeah.
Oh, talking of editing, hold on just a minute. News flash, because and absolutely right, Suze. Inland Algarve looks lovely. It is. I mean, it's such a lovely surprise to pop up there. Yeah. Because it's all about the coast otherwise, isn't it? Here you are. Sorry, this is a rather hastily grabbed screenshot from the Englishman and the Irishman in Tamar. Remember that weekend, Veronica?
Yes, it was so much fun. And that is where I am excited to visit the Whitbys, Catherine and her husband, because they moved between Tomar and I can't remember the other city that they moved between.
Coimbra?
But they're nearby. Was it Coimbra? Yeah, okay.
Could be. They're not a million miles away from Coimbra, but there you are. We had such fun that weekend.
It was so much fun. And that lovely hotel, I will be back there all the time.
Yes, that was such good fun at that late evening with that wonderful maitre d' who took care of us in that hotel, right?
Oh, yes, and I've got to send them I totally forgot, I put their hotel in one of my magazine articles, and you know how they put everything on the wall? They probably love to do that, and maybe we can get one
Yes.
of those pictures of you guys in the lobby next to it on the wall of fame, the back hallway of fame, the
That's right.
stairway of fame.
Well, Terence Austin on the left here. I mean, you can't really see them very well, but I think this is the moment where you discovered the special secret about Gualdi Peixe, the statue there. I think, judging by the look on your face, that is the moment where we discovered the secret. And you, with your showbiz shades on, two of you, the glamour in the shot. There's you and Sarah Davy of Spartan FX. There she is. Look, the same. Yes, there you are. Pointing up. And that was a
And I
great
was so
moment.
bloated from all those beers too, and then I had the fat dress on, so
What? That's a thing, is it? The fat dress.
it just makes you look huge. Like they're so comfortable when it's
Where can
warm.
I get one of
You know,
those?
they're
Right.
airy, but you look
Yes.
like a tent. So yeah, my tent dress.
Well, that's
No.
the full video now is that. Thanks, Andy Klein, for making another great film. That's our Tamar, the Englishman and the Irishman in Tamar. Talking of the Irishman and your jacket, which went missing on that trip as well. I don't suppose you still got that. You've got it back yet, have you? The jacket's
No, we
still
want to turn it into the sisterhood of the traveling jackets, or
Well, it
not
might be on its way.
sisterhood, the
Look,
brotherhood.
it could be on its way to Dubai or Abu Dhabi as we speak, because Bobby is on his way. He's doing his.
Is Bobby doing this in Dubai? Wow.
Yes, he is. Should we pop and see him for a nice pint of Guinness in Dubai?
Let's do it. I would love it. One of my good friends here in Villa Real de Santo Antonio is just rehabbing a house. And this, again, like Nancy and Denise, there are old beat up houses that they're making gorgeous. So there is something to the expats moving here. They will take the, drive an initiative to take these beat up places, get it through the permit process, which can take a year or two, and make them gorgeous. So we are adding a lot of beauty to the town for derelict buildings. But there are some countries who they're not allowed to get a D7, D8 visa here. And she said she had to get golden visa. So
here's an alternative. This is what he's doing out in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. The D2 visa approach through investment. He'll be in Dubai. I'm hoping we'll get to speak to him actually whilst he's away on this trip. 20th to the 24th.
UAE, so
excellent. Okay. Well, you may get your jacket back then. Dubai 20th to 24th and Abu Dhabi 25th to 26th. And he's doing appointments with people. If you want to just, if you don't want to have to fly out to Dubai or Abu Dhabi, just check out d2visaportugal.com and you can make an appointment with the team that way. But yeah, I thought it'd be funny to include that because that's where your jacket might be headed at the moment, which went missing in action in Tamar. And you can see the Tamar video, incidentally, on our YouTube channel, Good Morning Portugal's YouTube channel, The Englishman and the Irishman on a tuk-tuk ride to meet two Templar Knights from Birmingham. It's quite a long title, that one, but great. And you can see Veronica, who's on the screen with me this morning, on that video too, and Sarah Davy from Spartan FX, as you just saw there. Where did we get to? Okay, we want to talk about long-term care. We want to catch up with all the comments, actually. Yes, we keep distracting ourselves with the comments here, don't we? So,
but this is the important thing is about activities that are going on in Portugal, what Portugal life is like, options of where to live. I think that's probably what I get asked the most. Then once they're here and buying, then it's the whole buying process. But people want to pick that right place. So I love talking about any place that we visit or enjoy that might be a place for people to live or to live nearby. So
absolutely. I mean, here's another example. Yesterday, Colin says, let's take the cars to La Pina. I'd never been there. It's on the other side of the Obidos Lagoon. That's what that pretty house is in the background. It's a little village of all these bungalow, like classic Portuguese architectural bungalows with all brightly painted shutters and gates, which provided a lovely backdrop. But I'd never been there. And there's all these lovely little places out there, which I'm sure, Veronica, we will continue to find in our life.
Yes. Can you do more of those events? I need to start checking. But in Obidos, there's along the lagoon, we even stayed at one little town. Of course, I can't remember the name of it, but that was the clip I sent you when Steve and I were going on the edge of the Obidos Castle. And I'm like, that's
insane, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's beautiful places around there. We walked around. We stayed at a great little Airbnb, not Airbnb, B&B. You can't say B&B anymore, B&B. lovely hotel, and we were playing paddleball against, it was a North versus South. It was the first international competition in
Fantastic.
Portugal.
Yeah.
So national, not international, within the nation,
National,
national,
yeah, or a national tournament. Yeah. Yeah.
national. And there's so many gorgeous places around there.
Yeah.
Man, it was
No question. And yes, I will.
phenomenal.
We will be having more San Martino de Porto Discovery Weekends. I want to do 2 of those a year. And welcome to members of your community who've joined us, who are watching on the American in Portugal YouTube channel. And we've got Erica Kay. She knows the Madonna Inn. I
Oh,
can't
you
remember.
do?
Okay.
Yeah, that's the Madonnas. Now, the Portuguese actually settled most of that area. They were some of the first
Did they
settlers in
really?
that. In fact, Half Moon Bay, just across from San Francisco and down, has so many Portuguese immigrants that settled there. They have a huge Portuguese club and some of the most wealthy landowners. So when you drove through Harmony, that's a lot of that. It is the Avia land. So those gorgeous green hills between Highway 1 and the ocean with all the happy cows, like cows with tons of land, takes free range to a new level. That's the Avila, and Durgettis. And I mean, there were so many Leos, I always say that wrong, bunnies, rabbits, goats. They're all over. And even the Madonnas, have an interesting heritage and huge landowners and farmers. And so you've got to go to the Madonna Inn. It's like this crazy little Disneyland hotel with themed rooms and the big 70s rock room. So you go, get a hotel room with a rock, and in the men's room is a waterfall. So you actually pee into the waterfall. And it's just, all the girls go into the men's room to check it out. So you have to knock on the door. And there's like an eye. So when you, like a laser. So when you walk up close to, go pee, the waterfall starts and you pee into the waterfall.
Nothing to do with that Madonna then. Okay. Just
sorry, rambling. But yes, there's just another one.
Yes, I'm going to have to stop you commenting on every comment, okay? Because otherwise, we're never going to watch. We're never going to watch and we've got more photos coming in of beautiful beaches in the Algarve as well. So we have a little bit of an Algarve beach special in just a moment with video and still. But let's just see what other people are saying to us this morning. And welcome new people who've joined us. My parents used to have a place near Morro Bay, says Jim. Lovely to see you, Jim. Thanks for being here. Carmel as well. You didn't mention Carmel, did you? But that's on that drive, isn't it? We went there. I was in Carmel by the sea in February in the 90s. The town was shut down because it snowed. What? Terry Melcher walked past me. Doris Day, son, a lovely town. That's where the Eastwoods live as well, I think, isn't it? Bon dia from Ana Caprita. Good morning to you. Hola, bon dia, Ana.
My neighbor, my Portuguese sister, right there. Hi, my Portuguese sister.
What was there, Anna? And Morro Bay, another memory there from Erica Kay. On a side note, avoiding the move to the north will give many great pleasure. So that's currently a good secret about Portugal. I think the volume is not there in the north yet. So, good morning, Portugal.
Blend in.
Yeah, there's more space, I guess, as well to populate. From Leela, good morning to you. Lovely to see you here. Sue's my uncle and auntie founded a worldwide animal rights organization in Carmel by the Sea in 1960s, still in force today. Erica, you are so well connected in California there. Cool, says Susan. And snow there is rare. That's why I was surprised to hear about that snow in Carmel. Lovely town, says Jim. Actually, Cayucos, one town north, they live next door to a Portuguese family who are fishermen. I didn't know about that. The Portuguese on the coast of California. I was only joking, Veronica. Not as busy in the East Algarve and many beautiful coastline areas and small villages. I love Montegordo as well, small and walkable, and a casino. Raj's Indian family in Portugal. Good morning to you. Villarreal de Santanio is the best, says Anna. Jones Travellers, they're on their way there. Bon dia, everyone, heading to VRSA on Sunday for a couple of days. Nice. And we Californians are loud, and we are rampant huggers. I must say, I'd never noticed that, Erica Kay. That's British banter for you. Learn, sort of sarcasm even, learn the legalities about renting in Portugal. There are well-established laws for landlords and renters. Thank you for that aside. Also, Portugal temporary residents are bound by Schengen rules. For other Schengen countries, limits change with citizenship. Yes! My town launches the boats with a good push from a tractor on the beach. And yes, thank you for that. Oh, and as well as VRSA, the Jones Travellers are heading back to the Hotel dos Templarios for a night in tomorrow. That is a great hotel. Love it there. There is a meetup on May the 4th. Heard about that? Yes, Astrid mentioned it on the show yesterday morning. So a meetup in Tamar hosted by Expats Portugal on May the 4th. That's my wedding anniversary. Bon dia, gringos from T-Duck. I'm recovering from a bit of oral surgery yesterday. Not fun. Well, lots of love to you. Smash that like button if you've got the strength to do that after your surgery. We have stayed and loved the JW Marriott in Dubai, says Michael Barton. That's where Bobby's going to be. And we are hosting our Eduardo Park meetup this Saturday. Another meetup, 1:30 at the kiosk Becca Becca, the Joneses in Lisbon. That is Eduardo Park. And that's why Californians eat our weight in linguiça and tempura. Ah, the Portuguese effect. Erica agreeing with Anna. VRSA is the best. Anna and hola a todos. Another Anna. A Swede in Portugal. Anna also in VRSA. Hola a todos. How are you this morning? Lovely to see you, Anna. Thank you for your lovely videos recently and your picture. Whilst Anna's here, any more pics of you in 1974? We've got Anna with her brother in 1974. We've got Philomena in 1974. Pam and Andy. These pictures keep coming in of people in 1974 when, of course, the Carnation Revolution was happening here in Portugal, or going to happen on the 25th of April. That is a great shot. That's unidentified as yet. Here's another Gumper, unidentified as yet, in around 1974. And here's somebody not when you're 74, but 1974. That's not quite right, that one there. Right, so let's play your video then. We're running out of time. Can you believe it? We're running out of time here, Veronica. I want to play your Montegordo video of the beach. Here we go. And then a lovely beach
little
picture.
windy. I'm sorry, the noise on the wind. Sorry.
Maybe it's after lunch wind. Here we go.
It's a beach day, 80 degrees. And no tourists, or some very smart tourists that came mid-April. I say end of April to May.
Can't be bad, can it? In April. Not bad at all.
It's so empty on the beach. There's grass growing on it between the rain. There's like grass you see on it. Like that'll get trampled in June. It'll be gone. But I was like, but it was just glorious. And they still had the tables and chairs out, 10 euros all day long for 2 chairs. And just behind you is like great restaurants. You can get beers and sit down with them, or the Montaditos.
All right, and here's Alvor. Thank you, Paul, for this. Look at the sand dunes in Alvor. Absolutely beautiful. Wow. Thank you very much for that. However, weather concerns in the Algarve. This from Doug. Look at this possible rain. Do you want that?
I have those in my background. Look, it might rain on us.
It's like people see a little bit of a wispy cloud and they go, oh my God, it's going to rain. Right, thank you for that.
Put the airplanes up there to seed the clouds.
Yes, yes. Okay, let's go. Let's get our frame back on. There we go. Good morning, Portugal. Veronica's here, and we've got about 10 minutes to go, and we wanted to have a little bit of a conversation about long-term care. We'll do that after the other video I've promised this morning. We'll pop up to the north very briefly, and then we'll head back to the south. Talk to Veronica about long-term care and some of those issues that we need to get onto the agenda, really. So here's Pam having a little walk. This is about a minute's video up in the north of Portugal, and I'll find out where this is and tell you after we've seen the video and the pictures.
Cute little mountain village called Castelo, which is just north of Arcos de Valdevez, which is just east of Montelima. It's up in the mountains and extremely verdant with terraced hills and lots of good hiking trails along tributaries that feed into the Vej River, which in turn feeds into the Lima, which you may have heard of.
Oh my God, I love this country, don't you? Verdant is the word. What a lovely contrast. We've been hearing a lot about the Algarve this morning, and you pop up north near Pontelima there. Here's another picture of the village. Look at it. It's so deserted, so beautiful,
Wow.
so quiet and peaceful. The birds are singing. And that stone, you don't get that sort of stone in the south, do you? That's very much a sort of northern granite thing there, and those lovely cobbled streets.
Yeah.
Amazing. Absolutely beautiful. Thanks, John Heimbach, for that. Okay, last 10 minutes of the show. Wanted to talk about this. I think it's an important issue and should be part of the planning process. It's not something we want to talk about necessarily, but long-term care, LTC. Saw a rather disturbing video from our friends at Expats Everywhere the other day, which is rather sensational, I have to say, about some of the challenges and difficulties people are facing in Portugal. So not wanting to get into a dead end with that, or, you know, face things when it's too late to plan, should that be on the agenda when people are planning a move to Portugal? Their long-term care, if they plan to age and spend their last years here in Portugal, Veronica?
Absolutely. I think that's part of everybody's care as an American. Nothing is free in America, and especially not senior care.
Yeah.
So there's if you are super destitute, then there's the government facilities, which you would never put your loved one, if you love them, in one of those facilities because they just don't have enough money and they get the lower quality healthcare workers. And it is very, very pricey in America. So this is actually for Americans an option for them. And we do have some people that have moved here because you can have in-home care at a very reasonable price. Even a friend of mine here, a local Portuguese family, was trying to take care of their mother, and they're both working and they've got kids. And then their uncle ended up with a stroke. And so you've got, you know, just a couple girls, sisters trying to run over and cook meals and take care of them. And it just wasn't possible. And I said, well, why don't you just get care in? And they were able to get somebody in 4 hours a day for 500 euros a month. And they did the cooking and the bathing, and then the family could come in and just be lovely for the rest. But when you think of in America, you know, a decent facility can be 5,000 to 10,000 a month plus care, right? That's just your room. You know, you have to pay for every doctor's pill and everything. In America, there is long-term health care insurance, and generally that's a rider on. You can buy it separately. My dad has it. Because to their point, I did look at that video when you mentioned it to me, to the point that you need long-term care even after a surgery. So like my dad's hip surgery, right? My mom was there so could help take care of him, but she's passed away now. So who's going to take care of you after these little things? I had an emergency surgery. Who's going to drive me to the hospital? Yeah. And there were a couple of days where I wasn't supposed to be up and around. It was just gallbladder surgery, but it's an incision and they take out your gallbladder. So the hospitals are also lower cost here. So while the entire surgery was 3,000, including the medicines, the tests, the emergency room, that would have been 20, 30,000 even just to walk into the emergency room and have the tests and get a bed and figure out what to do. So it's much lower cost here. So I think it's something that you need to be aware of and budget for. So if you did have a home, you would then sell your home and pay for a facility. But I would never really want to put anyone in a facility. I'm opting for in-home care. And that's what a friend of ours who has Parkinson's, that he's already making his plan. It's very early onset, but he's made a plan to make sure that his house has space for a care and his budget is there. So I think it's different for the British, where your long-term care facilities are paid for or free, right? And then you have private also.
Well, not so much. It depends who you are. But I think the direction of travel is the same as, just like the national health system in Portugal. The direction of travel is towards privatization and people paying for, the glory days of having everything paid for and covered as a part of your contributions during your working life, frankly, are over. And add to that the demographic. I don't like to use the word time bomb, but I can't think of a better word. We are facing demographics, aren't we, of an aging population worldwide, more and more people living longer and getting older at this particular time in history, and fewer younger people being born, it would seem. We're facing a population collapse, aren't we? Again, that's an extreme word to use, but the demographics, the maths of it, point to it being quite a challenge. And that's why it's good to have this conversation and figure something out. And I think, you know, the best way to figure it out is on a personal level and start thinking about it. Rather, I mean, you know, people in the UK did think they could expect the government to take care of it, and it's not the case anymore. Less and less so over the last few decades. And you know, anyone wise will be thinking about their own care themselves in conjunction with their friends and family, right? Or their family first, and then maybe, I think in time to come, we will be looking at co-housing developments.
Well, yeah, my friends and I talked about that. We said
Yeah,
we can
right.
get a plot of land, put, you know, 5 or 6 houses on each of the perimeters. In the middle, put a space that has a swimming pool, exercise room, and big community kitchen. So you can have your own house or walk in, bring in care as needed. So, you know, have a doctor come in once every couple months and, you know, pay them for private to come in, take care of all of you, have the little bus that takes you on your tour excursions, but it's not in a facility where they're kind of skimming off the top. And I think this is what's happening even in the States, is the money's not going right back into the facility and what you're paying for. So to manage that on yourself.
It's been industrialized, isn't it? Corporatized. So that
Yeah.
so it's
Even the Marriotts.
profit generating. Yeah, absolutely.
Marriotts are investing in retirement.
Yeah. So there's scope, isn't there, in this country? You know, that we've just talked about the bad news, if you like, but the good news is the relative cost of living, the possibility of renovating dwellings that aren't suitable for what some people are looking for in this part of their life might become, you know, a small hotel, a small village. Even, you know, the bigger the vision you want to have for this, the more interesting and better perhaps to see what's available and bring all the pieces together. Because I think the component parts are there. It's just about having the conversation and the will to do it, isn't it? I mean, this is a good place to grow old if you think about it and do it right. It's a disaster potentially if you don't think about it at all and suddenly find yourself infirm or ill and a long way from what you used to call home. That's awkward. That's difficult. That's painful for people, and often means they do go back to the States or the UK.
Well, I think if that's your plan, you know, that whole, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So you have to have a full plan, even in the States. People, what are we going to do when we're older? We're just going to like make our kids take care of us? Like, come on. You know, here it's not even a thought. But I wouldn't, you know, when my kids are in their heyday, say, hey, can you come change my diaper? And this is when we
there you go. That's the direct way of explaining this.
Well, and that's the uncomfortable subject. At what point is your quality of life not quality of life? And at least Europe has the option. It sounds awful, but in Switzerland, I think it is, that you can go and be put down like a cat. And if I can't hike and bike and climb and I don't have my cognitive abilities, I'm sorry. I want to go out and have a big party, have a great time, and take a nap.
Your view on it. That's fascinating. And of course, Portugal is looking at that very same legislation, which I think they've done with some success here in the most extreme of circumstances. I think the thresholds for these things are being discussed, and they're quite highly charged ethical issues, of course. But that, of course, is another part of the conversation. So put that in the plan, right, Veronica? Think about it. When you're moving to Portugal, just not all the upsides of the beautiful place and living in the best city, the Algarve, Lagos, for example, not just all the upsides, but the practicalities long term as well. Have a think about those. Talk them through.
But can we say not just think about it, talk to your lawyer and put it in your will? Do not resuscitate all of this has to be in your will. When you buy a property here, make sure that you put which law you're going to use. Like, are you going to use American? You have the option, American law or Portuguese law, British law. With the minute you move here, make your whole plan, go to your attorney, put it all in writing. Just do it. I've had many friends that have lost their husbands, and then now all of a sudden they have no plan. Where's our money? You have to plan. Plan with an attorney and a financial professional. I say it all the time. Just do it.
No, thank you for that correction. There's me saying we should think about it. Think about it and do something about it as well, says Veronica, quite rightly. So you've been amazing this morning. Thank you, Veronica. Our pal Carl wasn't able to join us this morning. Any messages that you want to send to Carl, I can handle those if you're looking for help finding a rental or somewhere nice to buy in Portugal, specifically in the capital, we can pass that on to Carl, and we look forward to being in his company next time. Have a lovely day in VRSA. It's almost like a touristic slogan, isn't it? That the tourist board might want. They have a lovely day in VRSA. Which you have the context and circumstances to make that really easy, right? It's easy to have a really nice day in VRSA. And thanks to all the Algarve fan club who've been with us this morning as well. So thank you, Veronica. Lots of love to you, and we'll see you again soon.
Beijinhos.
Nice big round of applause for you, and we shall go out after this, and we'll see you again tomorrow for some Feel Good Friday fun. O'Reilly should be here, depending on where he is. He might be in the air flying to Dubai or Abu Dhabi. But anyway, we'll see you tomorrow for some Feel Good Friday fun. American in Portugal, actually.
America in Portugal.
America. That's what we were talking about. It's getting that way, isn't it? America in Portugal. Let's extend our greetings. Have a nice day to all of America as well as Portugal this morning. Take care. Bye for now, and we'll see you tomorrow. Cheers, Veronica. Ciao, ciao.
Cheers, beijinhos.
Coffee, shall we?